What's up? What's up? What's up, you guys? Happy Thursday. And for those who practice Judaism, happy Day of Atonement, I believe, is the day. How does my picture keep getting like this? I don't know what I keep doing to make my picture look like this, y'all. Okay, that's better. I don't know what I keep doing to make my picture look like that. Anyway, what's up, you guys? Now listen, I told y'all we were going to do the Real Housewives of Salt Lake City today, and we was going to read the lawsuit, and we was going to drop the link, and then I was going to do a members only and all. Let me explain, y'all. I didn't know I was going to sleep the way I slept today. I woke up at my regular time that I would normally have to get up to go to work. I did what I normally do, played around on the phone a little bit, scrolled a little bit through Instagram and TikTok. I rolled up and went back to sleep. Maybe I woke up, it was 11:45. So we're going to do this Real Housewives of Salt Lake City. I'm going to do what I promised with the Real Housewives of Salt Lake City, but the members only might have to be this weekend. And I promise it'll be this weekend. I promise. But I have to run out, and I just don't know what time I'm going to get back. When I get done with this, I got to run out and run some errands. Because again, I didn't think I was going to sleep till noon. Do y'all know how often I don't? I very seldom sleep till noon. And I went to bed at my normal time last night. I didn't even stay up late. I went to bed at like, a little bit later, like 11:30. But gosh. Anyway, that's enough of that. So we're going to do this. We're going to go through the other episode. Yeah, I think my body just needed the rest because I just don't sleep like that, y'all. And when I say I was knocked out, I was knocked. Baby, I slept so good. Ooh, I slept so good. Anyway, so let's get into this episode, and then we're going to read through Lisa Barlow's lawsuit. And I will open up the panel for a little while, okay? If anybody wants to come up and just get their 2 cents, I will, because I promised y'all that. And I did promise the members only, but I'm going to have to move that. Anyway, let's get into it. So we start this episode off with Lisa proving to us how much of a big deal she is. That is all this scene was about. We see Lisa walking through. I didn't even know Lisa had a restaurant, but I guess she has a restaurant there in Salt Lake City. And we see her moving through her restaurant and all that good stuff. And she's talking about all the celebrities that are coming in and all the VIP status. Can I be honest and tell you, this was such a staged moment. And I don't even know when that was filmed. Because let's be clear, this could have been from last season. We don't know when that scene was filmed. But I feel like that whole scene was to just show us how big of a big deal that Lisa Barlow thinks she is. Because remember last week when she was having that lunch with Heather, and she was like, my life just isn't like the rest of you guys. Baby, that thing pissed Heather off. And Heather be trying so hard to stay in good graces with Lisa. But baby, you could see the look on Heather's face. Heather was like, girl, your life is not that much different from ours. For as much as I give Heather a hard time because I don't like the way Heather be kissing people's, I know Heather has gone to therapy, but I think she needs to really focus on in a friend group. Because I think she's done a lot of healing as it relates to her faith and her past, her family, her ex-husband. Like I think she's done a lot of that healing. But with her friend group, I really think Heather needs to focus on this need to be liked, this need to have everybody like her. And a lot of Browyn has that. Her husband was telling her about that. We're going to get to Miss Browyn, though. I really want Heather to work on that because in that moment, Heather, you should have flexed on her ass. You should have flexed on her ass. Do you understand me? Baby, you should have talked about Beauty Lab and all the things that you got going on with Beauty Lab and all of the because again, Heather is nothing to sneeze at. Heather is doing very well for herself as a divorced mom of 3 who really didn't have a whole lot of support from her family and her community, her friends, her ex-husband. Like she said, baby, my kids never spent the night away from me. My husband would come in, play good daddy, throw the kids around, bring them some toys, and he went the hell home. Everything fell on me. And the fact that she has been able to, baby, Heather, you should have flexed in that moment. But we have this, so we see her walking around, and let me tell you something else. As somebody, my sister's a chef. She's not a practicing chef right now, But my sister has cooked for the president and the first lady, Michelle and Barack Obama. Okay. My sister has cooked for a lot of congressmen and the mayor of DC and all them things, because she's worked at these types of restaurants, high-end restaurants. Baby, that is not how the people be walking through the restaurants getting things together. First of all, child, anyway, that ain't even how I go down. Unless you just want to be seen, which, like I said, that's what that whole moment was. So honestly, girl, I wasn't impressed by none of that. Because one, we don't even know if it's true. Don't show me the footage of you talking about who's coming. Show me the footage of them there. How about that? Don't tell me Steve Carell is coming. Show me Steve Carell there. That's all I'm saying. Moving right along. Right. I would have said, did Rihanna follow you? Okay. Like, flex on them. I would have flexed on her in that moment. But neither here nor there. Just like later on in the episode, where she was like, I wasn't there because I was at the premiere of, I was with, the first she said I was with Blake Lively and all these people. Then she said I was at the premiere of their movie. Girl, going to a movie premiere is not a flex. Baby, I've been to movie premieres. And especially, it's not a flex. Now, again, tell me you were sitting next to Blake Lively at the movie premiere. Maybe I feel like that's a flex. Show me, girl, that's not a flex. You really need to stop, because you're really not impressing nobody. Girl, that's not a flex. Moving right along. Then we have Bronwyn and her husband. And once again, let me tell y'all something. One of the most uncomfortable scenes to sit through when you are watching a reality show are scenes that are totally manufactured for the purpose of a storyline, and the other person don't want to be there. Bronwyn, your husband does not want to be there. He doesn't want to film with you. And I honestly don't understand why you're here. After the disaster of a season you had last year, I don't know why you're here, because you clearly don't need the money. Well, let me rewind what I just said. You do need the money because you don't have your own money. But I'm sure that you still spend way more than what you're making on Bravo. We know these first-year housewives don't make shit, okay? Unless you are a celebrity and you're bringing a celebrity something to the show, you're not making shit your first season on the show. Like, we know that. So I'm sure you have you outspent whatever you made. So it can't really be the money. I don't know why you're here, because I feel like you're doing more damage to what you have going on in your life than you're getting out of it. It is clear your husband doesn't want to film. It is also clear to me that you are a trophy wife. Girl, you are a trophy wife. You start talking about all the things that Todd has done for your family, because your dad, who's suffering from Alzheimer's, and my prayers, my thoughts and prayers go out to you and your family. I know that's a hard road, is now in a nursing home facility of round care because he can't, you couldn't take care of him in the home anymore. And your mom, who was also sick at the same time, has moved in with you. But then you also say you moved in your daughter's boyfriend. So you got all them people living up in this man's house. And I say this man's house because you don't have no money. You don't have no money. I don't even know if your name is on anything. Now, I think last year the big deal was y'all didn't have a prenup. I don't know why. Heather, I don't know why you were making a big deal about this woman not having a prenup when she wins. In the case that her and Todd divorced, her not having a prenup is a win for her. Girl, I didn't understand what the big deal was last season with that. Moving right along. I want to be a trophy wife too, Chuck. I'm going to tell y'all the truth. I told y'all at this point in my life, I told y'all what all I want out of a husband at this point in my life. So I'll be a trophy wife. Yes, I will. Absolutely. I'm not cooking. I'm not cleaning. But I'll make sure you get to all your appointments. I'll make sure I clean up good. I'll keep my hair did. I'll get mani-pedi spa day. I'll make sure give me a good stylist that know how to style a plus size woman. I'll be down at Christian Siriano's place because you know he love how to style a thick girl. I'll make it look good. Okay? Now I'll be a trophy wife. Sure. But in the conversation, you're like, well, I know. Then after all of that, then he goes, there go my cousin. Yes, I would. I'd be a trophy wife. I would. Absolutely. Shoot, I worked hard. All my life I had to fight. Give me the soft life. I take it. Shit. All I have to do is travel and make sure I look good. I would. You got to cook at least? No, the hell I don't. I would hire my sister full time. I'd be like, quit your job. You my full-time cook now. Breakfast, lunch, dinner. Y'all think I wouldn't? Shit. I don't have to cook nothing. I have to make sure dinner is ready. That's what I have to make sure. I have to make sure that dinner is ready. I don't have to cook it. I have to make sure it's ready, and I have to make sure it's good. I don't have to cook it. Who told you that lie? Okay, KDK? Okay. You know what I'm saying. All right. But Bronwyn starts talking about how much Todd has done for her parents. And then this is the part that I knew when she said, well, I know you didn't really want to. Girl, why would you say that? Why would you put that out there? Well, I know you didn't really want to. Even if that were the case, why would you say that out loud on camera that this man didn't want to help you with your parents? Girl, I just feel like I feel like sometimes y'all do stuff on purpose. Because ain't no way in the world I would put that out there. Now, again, behind closed doors, I might know that he complained about it and he ain't really feel like doing it. And then the whole time you were giving him all of this praise, he was trying to cut you off and basically tell you shut up. He was basically like, yeah, I don't, like he kept trying to be like, no, yeah, no. Like he really didn't want it. He really didn't want it. Because he didn't want it because for real, he don't want to do it. Then you start talking about Lisa. And listen, he's saying the same thing that the rest of us are saying. Girl, why are you even trying to be her friend? He was like, the things that she has said and done are unforgivable. I don't even understand why you're trying. And she was like, because I don't like people not being mad. I don't like people being mad at me. And he was like, let me tell you something. And I think to a certain extent, all of us at some point in our life have been people pleasers. I just think that's human nature that we want to be people pleasers to a certain extent. I ain't saying it's levels to it. It's levels to it, okay? So before somebody be like, I ain't never, there's levels to it, okay? But I think to a certain extent, we have all been in a place where we wanted to be people pleasers. But we have to all get to a point where we understand that there's no way we can. There's no way that you can please everybody all the time. And there's no way you can do that and be true to yourself. Let me say that. There's no way you can do that and still be true to who you are. There are going to be times when me putting myself first is just going to piss people off. There are going to be things about my personality that you're just not going to like, and vice versa. If I spend my whole life trying to make everybody happy, not only am I never going to do that, but then I'm going to be miserable in the process. There's no way to make everybody happy all the time. That's just not human nature. We all feel the way we feel. We all have different opinions and different thoughts. You know what I mean? Like we're all. So I'm too old to need a woman that does not like to like her. Yeah, like you know. Then we saw, okay, so there was that child. So then we saw Angie talking to her dad. Now let me be honest and tell you something. Angie, I need you to give us something different. I get it, girl. You are a proud Greek immigrant. Your parents came up. Well, you're not the immigrant. You were born here. But was she born here? I think she was born. Yeah, she was born here. Your parents came over from Greece, and I love that you know who you are and you know your heritage and you are proud of it. Let's be clear. I'm 100%. I'm with it. But I need you to give us something different because that has been your storyline for 3 seasons. Because the first season you were like a friend of, but it was still and I understand that maybe because of what happened with your husband, you want to stay away from maybe too many personal things. But let's talk about your daughter, because later on in the episode, we see where your daughter is going through teenage moments and your daughter is giving you a hard time. Let's talk about how your daughter is growing and you going through some growing pains with her as a mom. Like, let's talk about that. What's going on with the salon? Y'all not putting out a new product? Y'all not expanding? Y'all not building a new location? Like, what? Baby, and the fact that we're going to Greece this summer, I'm like, girl, I mean, not this summer, I'm on this episode. I mean, this season. I'm like, girl, give us something else. Now, the historian in me absolutely loved her father's story. Not that it was a good story. It was an absolute horrible story. But I love the fact that her father shared his experience in World War I with the Nazis and what he was going through for a couple of reasons. Number one, and I say this to my students all the time, the world would like us to think that these things happened so long ago that it doesn't matter anymore. The fact that there are still survivors of World War II, survivors of the Holocaust that are still walking around, that are still here to tell their story, I think I love and respect that. So I love the fact that her dad told his story. Did I say World War I? I meant World War II. Y'all know I meant World War II, child. Did I say World War I? Shit, World War II. Y'all know I know the difference. But I love the fact that there are still survivors that can tell their story. Again, I don't love their experience, obviously, but now I can cook and do other things for a black or titanium car and a Bentley. Me too. Moving right along. My bad. I did not mean World War I. Lord, y'all know I know the difference. Lord knows y'all know I know the difference between World War I and World War II. Anyway, so World War II, World War II. But I, to hear him talk about being in a Greek village, a very small, poor village, and how the Nazis came in and burned everything, and how he immigrated here to the United States with basically just the clothes on his back. I really love that story. I love him telling it. But at the end of the day, though, Angie, you got to give us something else. Like, I need something else from you, girl. You're not giving me nothing. Like, open up a new location, even if it's a fake location. Yeah, they do it on reality all the time. It'd be a fake location. Girl, bring the contractor into an empty building and start talking about building a new location. I don't know. Give us a spa. Say you want to expand it into a spa. Do something. Do something, girl. Then we have Browyn and her mother. Browyn. I'm going to say something that's not very nice. And in the real world, I would never talk about people's family. But because I'm reviewing a show and y'all want my honest opinion, I'm going to just have to give y'all my honest opinion. Browyn, your mother's a bitch. Now, I would never say that in real life to a friend of mine. If their mama was a bitch, I would just be like, "Ooh, okay, girl." And I just would make sure I'm not around their mother because I don't, But I would never say that to somebody in real life because, that's rude. But it's a show and you put her on here and y'all want my opinion. Girl, your mama don't like you. Right? She could start a charity or something for Greek. You're right. She could start a charity. Yes. Girl, your mama don't like you. Your mother does not like you. Whatever you did in your younger days, your wild child days, when you got pregnant while you were in college, and it sounds like you embarrassed the family because your daddy was a whole secretary down to the church, down to the Mormon church, and coming home pregnant from Brigham Young. You embarrassed your family. And your mama really don't like you. And the only saving grace, the only reason why I feel like your mama even talked to you is because you married rich. I feel like if you were out here working 9 to 5, barely making it, scraping it together, I feel like your mama wouldn't even mess with you. And I'm just being honest. I feel like the only reason why your mama basically told you that the best thing you ever did in your life was marry Todd. And I'm sure it's only because Todd is rich. Then she gonna turn around and say, "Yeah, why when they were talking about her dad and her dad being elderly and having to, put him in assisted living and all the things they had to do, why her mother turn around and say, yeah, because you getting ready to have to do that with Todd." Baby, her mama don't like her, y'all. And I keep telling y'all that just because people are family does not make the feelings be there. Just because somebody is your mother or your father does not mean that they have those familial feelings and that everything is great in families. Like if everybody loved each other just because they had blood running, they had the same blood, maybe we wouldn't be dealing with the family traumas that people deal with. We wouldn't be dealing with abuse and neglect. So let's let that go, please. Can we please let go of well, that's her mother. I don't care. Her mother don't like her. And if all you had to do was watch that scene and see that her mother does not like her. Now, do I think that her mother loves her as a mother loves a child? Maybe. But love and like ain't the same thing. You can love somebody and not like them, baby. And I feel like Baldwin was the wild child. Baldwin probably did, because let's be clear, a lot of people go to college and lose their mind, right? A lot of people, I've seen it. I saw it when I went to school. People that came in the beginning of freshman year, they came in straight out the church, straight out of mama and dad. Like you saw them. And by the time Christmas break came around, baby, they was a whole wild child. So it happens. Let's be clear. People go to college and lose their ever-loving mind. But I think Robin was probably a wild child. I don't feel like she went to college and lost her mind. I feel like that's who she was, and she gave her parents hell. I feel like she just gave her parents hell her whole life. I just feel like that's who she was. Y'all, her mama, I ain't gonna keep dwelling on that scene, but baby, her mama just does not like her. First of all, her mama act like she was being bothered when Baldwin even came in there and had a conversation with her child. She act like, why are you here? Why are you talking to me? Like she act like she had an attitude from the minute Baldwin walked in that door. Okay. But anyway, but that's why Baldwin is a people pleaser, because she probably felt like she could never please her parents. Listen, I could go deep and I don't even know these people, but she probably feels like she could never really please these people. Okay, moving right along. So then we have Heather and Angie meeting up. Heather is, once again, y'all, I need y'all to do better with these when y'all manufacture these scenes. I really need y'all to do better. Heather is supposed to be painting this damn room and getting this room ready to make it in like her she cave now that she's like an empty nester and she's creating a space for herself because now that her girls are gone, she said she basically had done everything from her bedroom, and now that her girls are gone, she wants to, give herself a little she cave. A lot of parents do that. When the kids move out, baby, they turn them bedrooms. Baby, my old bedroom is my parents' little den upstairs. They put 2 recliners. Well, actually, my old bedroom, that's my sister's old bedroom. My old bedroom was so small that it actually, for a while, it was like a little where they put stuff. Then when my nephew was born, it became like his bedroom, child. That's his room. Anyway, he got a bed up there and dresser and stuff, child. That's Trey room. And don't let him hear you tell him it's not. It's his room. But my sister's old room, she had the bigger room. Listen, me and my sister used to share a room. And I wanted my own room. And my parents were like, well, if you move out, you're going to have to take that little small room. And it really is a small room. One day I'm going to take a picture and show y'all how small that room is. It really is enough room for a bed, a dresser. And it got a little closet. A bed, a dresser, and a little closet. But baby, I wanted to get out that room, sharing that room with my sister so bad. I didn't care. I said, I'll take it. And I took that little old room. And I love that little room, though. I'm going to be honest with you, baby. I love that little space. But my sister got the bigger room. Anyway, That is now my parents' den. They went out and bought them 2 recliners. They got matching recliners. They got a little table in the middle. They got they got a refrigerator, a microwave up there. They got a little TV. Okay, nice little TV stand with a little storage in it. They got a computer in there with the computer desk and the printer. My mama little computer area. Baby, they done did it up. They did it up. Okay. Anyway. And didn't her mama make a snot? Yeah, she made a comment about the soda. Child, her mama was a mess. Talking about, is it cold? Robin was like, I got it out the refrigerator. Like, girl, what you? Anyway. But Angie shows up in this room where I guess Heather was pretending like she was painting. What I believe is that Heather is getting that room renovated, but that's the stuff that the contractors left. And she put on one of them little plastic over, like the painter's things, like little plastic one. And she had that painter's tape in her hand, and it was plastic down. Like she was really, and then they had the paint out there, like they was really painting that room. Girl, that thing was so staged. I really wish that Heather just had like a regular old, had some food downstairs and we're going to talk and I'm going to show you and the reason why I know is because Heather had on a whole sweater, jeans, like nobody wears that to paint in. Her hair was out. Girl, who is painting with their hair all over the place? Nobody's really painting like that. You're going to put that thing in a ponytail and put a hat on. And then she had the plastic on. Did y'all notice that halfway through that scene, the plastic overalls were gone? Did y'all notice that halfway through the scene, she had taken them off? So she started off the scene with the plastic overalls on. But by the time they got done, they were gone. Child, stop playing with me. Anyway, child, y'all be playing too much time with this. Y'all really be trying to make up stuff so much, child. So anyway, they sat there and they talking. And Heather, this is where people be getting mad at you. You talking to Angie about Lisa, and now all of a sudden you got all this smoke for Lisa. Now all of a sudden you're like, Lisa, I think Lisa might really be in trouble, and da-da-da. And you got all this smoke for Lisa, but when Lisa was sitting in your face, you was telling on everybody else, I didn't see you saying none of this to Lisa. And even when Lisa made that comment about we don't have the same life, and girl, you. Like I said, that was when you were supposed to flex on her. But now here you are talking to Angie K and making it seem like Lisa was so disrespectful in how she was talking. Heather, girl, I really need you to stop. I really need Heather to stop. So Lisa she's having like an outing with her friends, and then she's having lunch with everybody, right? So they went to the little skeet shooting place. It was Mary, Heather, Meredith, and that other lady that I guess is a friend of the show, the one they had the party at her house last week, Annie, I think her name is. And Lisa was like, these are the people that I really want around. I don't want the other people around because they're not really my friends. So then they decided so she's going to have lunch for the rest of them, right? So they go ski shooting, whatever. But see, Brittany, this is why you're a joke. Because nobody, and I do mean nobody, went harder for Lisa Barlow in that first episode than Brittany did. Not their person. Nobody else went harder than Brittany. And Brittany, girl, you didn't even get invited to the party. You got invited to the luncheon with the enemies got invited. You didn't even get invited to the real event. See what I'm saying? That's why it doesn't pay to be out here kissing these people ass thinking it's going to put you in a room that you ain't, that if they're not going to put you in the room, they're not going to put you in the room. You really was out here making yourself look stupid. You really made yourself look stupid. Right, Chuck. I said the same thing. I said, oh, Brittany didn't, I'm going to correct you. That's their house. That's her husband. Unmarried people can. Huh? First of all, I don't even understand what you're saying. I'm going to correct you. That's their house. That's her husband. Unmarried people kill me. Girl, what you talking about? Monetta Ross. I need you to, first of all, I need you to type that so that I can understand what you're trying to say. And I feel like what you're trying to insult me in your statement. So if you're going to insult me, at least make it clear enough that I understand what the insult is. How about that? Really, B, you just said for Angie to make up a business, but you're throwing shade at Heather. I'm cracking up. What I'm throwing shade at Heather about? What did I say? What did I throw? I threw shade at Heather for pretending like she was painting that room. What you mean, Quake? What am I saying? I'm throwing shade at Heather for pretending like she painting that damn room. I'm saying Angie need to give us a storyline. Are you saying because she was pretending and I was saying pretending? Is that what you're saying? I can see what you're saying on that part. But I'm just saying, like, Angie, give us something. Give us something, Angie. Shit. The fake paint the room. Yeah, I mean, because I think she really is getting that room done, but I think she was faking the scene. Oh, I see what you're saying. I say Angie need to fake a scene. But listen, yes, I stand by that, but I understand the oxymoron of that. But I stand by that. I stand by that, though, because I just feel like, Angie, you're not giving us anything. I mean, I feel like Angie could give us something real, but I was just saying, girl, give us something. But I understand. I see what you're saying. I still don't understand what the hell Marnetta Ross is talking about. But I understand what you're saying, Quake. I get that. Okay. But neither here nor there. Really, B, I think some people need to actively listen. I don't even know what she's talking about. She's saying that because she's married to Todd, then it's both their houses, not just his, even if she's not paying money towards it. I'm gonna just move on because I'm not even going to entertain. Thank you, Cali girl. I'm just gonna move on because I feel like sometimes y'all really be nitpicking. So now because I'm not married, I don't understand the concept of being married. Bitch, I understand. So let me just finish because we still got to talk about Lisa's lawsuit, and I said I would drop the link. Let me just keep going. I ain't even gonna go down that road. I understand that, y'all. I understand marital property. That wasn't the point that I was making. And I think the intelligent people in the room understand the point that I was making. I understand marital property. I understand that when you get married, and especially if there's no prenup, I got it. I'm not stupid. But I think y'all also understand the point that I was making about Browin not having the money. That's what I was talking about. So let me just finish, child. Let me just finish. Lord have mercy. Jesus. Moving right along. And I still feel like that was an insult at the end, talking about some y'all unmarried people kill me. So at the lunch, so we finally get to the lunch because we don't care about nothing that happened at the ski shooting, child. Let's get to the luncheon, child. Let's get to the luncheon. So Lisa Barlow took this as an opportunity to address the lawsuit situation. Now, in my research, I found, or me and Tracy's research, I'll say, I found that Lisa has been sued like 5 times in the last couple of years. And all of those lawsuits, except for one, was dismissed. But they weren't dismissed like the judge threw them out. So there was nothing in the system that said there was a settlement. But the thought process is that Lisa's lawyers and those people went behind the scenes and resolved the lawsuit. And then they filed for a dismissal. Because that's what you can do. If that's remember, that's what happened with the Shannon Sharp case, right? They settled, and then Shannon Sharp's attorneys filed for a dismissal, and the attorneys for the young lady, they didn't They didn't fight back and the case was dismissed. So just because something is dismissed doesn't mean that there wasn't some sort of settlement behind the scenes. And in one of those, at least one of those cases I know of, it was dismissed without prejudice, which means that that person can refile it if they add more information or they address whatever the court felt like they needed to address. So the reality of the situation is all of these cases, Lisa making it seem like, oh, it was dismissed. It was dismissed. Child, girl, at the end of the day, it doesn't mean that you didn't pay these people money, and it doesn't mean you didn't owe these people some money. But she's got these blow up posters with the word dismiss, dismiss, dismiss. And then Lisa got caught in her own lies where she was showing her lawyer's response saying denied, denied, denied. No, that was what your lawyer was saying. And your lawyer should have been saying that. Your lawyer should have been saying, we deny that this is the case. We deny, we deny, we deny, right? And so of course, Angie, Whitney, and Bronwyn versus Lisa, basically. Now, Lisa, here's the thing. I ain't saying that you shouldn't defend yourself at all. I'm not saying that you should not defend yourself. These people are making it seem like, you know, like she said, in business, there are going to be lawsuits and I'm going to probably get sued again. And she's not lying, right? Most successful businesses have been sued for whatever reason. But here's the thing, Lisa. I think it's the way in which you chose to address it that made it worse. Girl, it's out there. It's not like people, like Bronwyn didn't go digging. It was in the fucking newspaper. And just like any other housewife, once you put yourself on a national platform, people are going to dig. People are going to look into your business. People are going to look into your past. And if they find it, there are blogs. I'm not one of them, but there are blogs that are solely set out to just expose you and make you look like you're lying. It just is a fact. I'm not one of those blogs, but there are blogs where that is all they do. They look through police records. They look through the law docket. Like, that's what they do. So you have to know that the minute you put yourself on a national platform, it's going to be out there. Okay? Now, Lisa, all you had to do was just own that shit and be like, yeah, I got sued, but my attorneys are handling it. Baby, you better take a page from the Karen Hugo rule book. Baby, Karen be like, I can't talk about that. My lawyers, that's a legal issue. Who else did that? The smart ones be like, it's a legal issue. I can't discuss it. That's what you should have done. You should have said, well, the majority of those cases have been resolved. They were dismissed, but there is one, and there are one or two that I can't speak on it, girl. And if they said, well, we read this in the paper, say, well, if that's what was in the paper, girl, you better just. But you doing this whole song and dance production, it's gonna make people make it bigger than what it is. Now, let me say this. Let me tell you two things that, because I don't even care about the Lisa part of this, because Lisa is Lisa. But let me tell you the two things that happened at this luncheon that pissed me off. The first thing that pissed me off was, why y'all try to throw Meredith under the bus? Meredith absolutely spoke up for Lisa. Now, I know we got an edited version of that whole conversation, and maybe a lot more was said that Meredith did not speak up for, but we saw Meredith address it at least twice. We saw Meredith say, we need to let Lisa resolve this, but Meredith also said, girl, it was in the paper. Meredith also said, girl, it was in the paper. Like, it was in the paper. Lisa, now Heather tried to act like she didn't know what was everybody was talking about. We know that's a lie. But let's not act like Meredith has always been a woman of few words. Meredith don't do all that. Yeah. Very seldom. I mean, every once in a while, y'all get her there. You can leave. But y'all know Meredith don't do all of that. So for y'all to be sitting there acting like Meredith didn't have Lisa's back, that was bullshit. I feel like Meredith did have Lisa's back. But some things you can't argue with because it's in the paper and it's a fact. Y'all were like, well, what's your legal opinion? She's giving y'all her legal opinion. Her legal opinion is, well, this is what the allegations were. This is what was in the paper, but we need to wait and see what Lisa's attorneys are going to respond. That's what her legal opinion was. So I didn't like the fact that everybody tried to turn around and make it seem like Meredith didn't have Lisa's back. That was messed up. I'm sorry, I'm just reading y'all comments. Bronwyn did handle it. Like, I'm gonna give Bronwyn credit. Bronwyn gave her tit for tat. She did. And Lisa really tried to, and Bronwyn was like, but girl, what about this? But girl, what about this? But girl, what about that? She did. Bronwyn came ready. Let me tell you the second thing that pissed me off about this. Whitney Rose. Whitney. Just because you, quote unquote, own something. Well, I owned it. I admitted it. I owned it. Doesn't change the fact that people can have an opinion about it. The fact that you are so vocal and so worried about what Lisa Barlow has going on in her business, yet your business is in the process of closing down. You were in the process of liquidating your assets. Girl, Lisa wasn't wrong for throwing that back at you. I'd have done it. Lisa was not wrong for throwing back at you. But what about your business? I mean, what about your business? What about the people down to the TikTok that's accusing you of getting your stuff off of the Alibaba? Mind you, Whitney ain't never addressed that. She's talking about some TikTok isn't the same as a lawsuit. You're right, it's not. But I bet you them TikToks were a lot more damaging to your business than those lawsuits have been to Lisa's. I mean, listen, we're going to call a thing a thing. Baby, Whitney got so mad. Oh, she got mad. She got up and she got in Lisa's face, honey. And then she had to walk out talking about something. I'm so triggered right now. You triggered because you're wrong. You're triggered because you thought that you could throw everything at Lisa and Lisa wasn't going to give it back. Baby, Lisa was not wrong for throwing your business back in your face. Lisa wasn't wrong for that. And again, y'all know I ain't even no Lisa fan by any stretch of the imagination. Am I a Lisa Barlow fan? But baby, Lisa wasn't wrong for throwing that right. She threw it right back in your face, and she should have. And she should have. Threw it right back in your face. Because, girl, what? Girl, what? And Whitney actually, she threw a tantrum. Whitney threw a damn tantrum like a 5-year-old. Do you hear me? Baby, what was Angie and Bronwyn supposed to say? Because listen, Lisa didn't say nothing wrong. Lisa was like, girl, what about your business? I mean, and then I guess Whitney was like, but I did this and I did that. And I'm on, girl, just because you owning it, don't change the fact that you ran that business into the ground and you and your husband. And like Lisa, and look, again, Lisa didn't lie. Lisa was like, but I ain't use my own money. Baby, a good business, I told y'all before, a businessman would tell you in a minute, you'll use your own money. So the fact that Lisa was getting loans to keep her business afloat really ain't the problem. The problem is that she's been accused of not paying those loans back. The loan ain't the problem. Not paying the loan back is the problem. Allegedly, her being accused of not paying the loans back. Baby, Whitney, I could not believe. I said, Whitney is really throwing a tantrum. She didn't got up, stomped around the table. Oh my God, I'm triggered right now. What you so triggered for? Because Whitney, you love to throw shit in people's face. You love to talk about rumors and what the streets are saying. You love to throw it out there what everybody else got going on. But it's funny how when the tables turn, you can't handle the heat. Baby, when they throw it back at you, you can't handle it. The one thing I will say about Lisa, I might think that the way Lisa fought back wasn't as effective as it should have been. But baby, Lisa didn't sit down and let y'all just keep coming for her. Lisa was like, let me break this shit down. I'm going to bring y'all into this room and I'm going to make y'all look at it. I'm gonna give y'all a whole drink menu. Like, Lisa wasn't playing with y'all. I got to give her credit for that. But Whitney, you don't get to decide how somebody is going to respond and when, where, and how. Like, you don't get to make those decisions. And then you really were trying to, like, I almost was waiting for her to put her hand over Lisa's mouth. Like, when she walked over to Lisa, I mean, it was just like, shut up. You just shut up. I was like, girl, you are really throwing a whole tantrum. A whole tantrum. I noticed Monetta Ross never dropped back down to clarify what she had to say. I mean, I'm just saying. I mean, if you're going to say it once, say it twice. Shit, you want to insult me? At least make me no. Let me understand the insult. That's all I was saying. All right, y'all. Let's look at this lawsuit. That was pretty much the episode, child. So let's look through this lawsuit. But Whitney threw, baby, the way Whitney threw a tantrum, I couldn't believe it. I could not believe the way Whitney threw that tantrum, honey. All right, so listen, this is the lawsuit now. I'm gonna be honest with you guys. We had a really hard time getting this lawsuit. Tracy, I'm telling y'all, I'm gonna have to put Tracy on the payroll, y'all. Tracy, I don't even know how she found it because we really had a hard time. This is the one lawsuit out of the lawsuits. Okay, out of all of the lawsuits with Lisa, this is the one lawsuit that I think is still ongoing. It might be settled now, but this is the lawsuit that was still ongoing at the time of filming. This is the one that Brodwin was like, well, what about that lawsuit you still haven't settled? This is the one that Brodwin was talking about. And in the article that I read, and remember we looked at those articles the other day, the article that I read was recent. Like those were current. I want to say that article was like recent. It said this lawsuit had not been settled. However, I wonder if I feel like this lawsuit might have been, but let me just keep a question mark next to that. But as far as I know, this is the only lawsuit that is still open, if it is still open. We're going to put an asterisk next to whether this lawsuit is open or not. We're going to put an asterisk there. But I think it is. I think this is the lawsuit that I think that the judge said they had enough evidence to move forward. Lisa's attorneys tried to get this lawsuit thrown out. But I really think this one is still going on. But don't quote me on that, you guys. Don't quote me on that. But I think it is. Okay. So let's make it a little bit bigger, child. Let's make it a little bit bigger. And this is 13 pages. It's funny. I made fun of the Kardashians lawsuit the other day being 13 pages long. This was 13 pages. But my point is, hold on. Hold on, y'all. Okay. I need to get Raina home. I'm going to pause and listen to this lawsuit on replay. Okay, boo. Okay. So let's get into it. Sorry about that, y'all. Thank you. I was trying to get some information. I still may do it for members only. Okay, cool. I still might do a members only because I got some information to share with y'all that I want to give it to the members first. Okay. That whole luncheon was a joke that Lisa played on herself. She didn't prove anything, admit anything, and bringing Amy, who was supposed to be the head socialite, was weird. What's she supposed to do? Yeah, I agree, Brenda. That luncheon was a whole mess. It was a mess. That's why I don't even understand why Whitney let it trigger her like that. Like, girl, just whatever. Anyway, so this is okay. So let's talk about it. This is the lawsuit. It was filed on. Ooh, I don't see the date. All right, we'll figure it out. But this is Yukon Construction and Bart Carlson versus Lisa Barlow, Lux Marketing LLC, Vita Tequila LLC, and United Limited Liability, a Utah limited liability company. So y'all know that's venue and all that good stuff. Let's get to, y'all know y'all just want to hear the general allegations. Carlson is the president of Yukon. Barlow is an officer of both Lux and Vita Tequila. Beginning in approximately 2010, child, he went back to 2010. Barlow informed Carlson that she, as well as Lux and Vita Tequila, were experiencing severe financial difficulties. Can we just talk about the fact that Lisa's company has been in business for this long? Again, I ain't no Lisa fan, but the fact that Lisa's company has been in business for over 15 years, I mean, I got to give you credit for that, Lisa. But moving right along. Barlow requested that Carlson loan funds to her and the other defendants on an ongoing basis so that Barlow could pay personal expenses and also so that Lux and Vita Tequila could pay their expenses as well. Carson agreed to either personally loan or to cause Yukon to loan funds to defendants on an ongoing basis on terms agreed upon by Carlson, individually or on behalf of Yukon and Barlow. Individually and in her capacity as principal of Lux and Vita Tequila. Pursuant to the loan agreement, Yukon would loan funds to one or more borrowing defendants in amounts requested and specified by Barlow. The borrowing defendant would be obligated to repay the loaned funds upon Yukon's demand. Ooh, that's interesting. So y'all can just call her and say we need the money? Plaintiffs and defendants purposefully did not specify a time period within which plaintiffs must issue a demand for repayment. Well, Carlson agreed to the loan agreement's flexible terms because of his long-term friendship with Barlow and her family. Barlow possessed authority to bind Lux and Vita Tequila to the loan agreement terms and associated obligations. Beginning on or about May 22 of 2010 and continuing through June 22 of 2011, Yukon loaned the defendant $171,836.37, girl. And here's the breakdown. Child, I'm not reading all of that. Y'all can see. That's all the money he loaned her and the dates that he loaned her the money, child. It looked like it was a little, I mean, it was a few big payments. You got a $15,000, $12,000, $10,000, but most of them are under $10,000 payments. I mean, loans. But I think this is the one where she had a credit card. So these are probably the credit card charges. Upon information and belief, payments made to Matthew Kober were to be used for Vita Tequila's procurement of product as well as to cover other minor business expenses. Upon further information and belief, Barlow directed payments in this manner to Kober rather than Vita Tequila itself, because she desired that John Barlow, her husband, and Vita Tequila's other principal not be aware that Vita Tequila lacked sufficient funds to purchase products or pay legal bills. So this is what Brahman was talking about when she said you were trying to keep this away from your husband. This is what Brahman was speaking about. So Brahman must have read this lawsuit, honey. As of the dates of corresponding payments, Baller Spar was a law firm that rendered legal services to Vita Tequila in exchange for legal fees. Barlow directed Carlson to cause Yukon to deliver payments for those fees to Ballard on Vita Tequila's behalf in accordance with the table set forth on paragraph 19. Beginning in approximately September of 2010, Carlson commenced loaning funds in his individual capacity on an ongoing basis pursuant to the terms of the loan agreement. Beginning on or about September 10th of 2010 and continuing through October the 9th of 2015, Carlson individually defendants loaned a total of $87,000 pursuant to the loan agreements and in the following table. So again, here's the table. We got a $15,000. There's only one that's 15, and then there's two for $10,000. And again, everything is under $10,000. Upon information and belief, Alessandro and Eduardo, as named in the table set forth in paragraph 25, are individuals that have performed work on Barlow's personal residence, to whom Barlow owed money. Oh, so you was getting work done on your house, honey? Okay. Okay. Cobra Law is named on the table set forth. Okay, it's just talking about all the people she paid, child. Upon further information and belief, Barlow directed payments in this manner to Cobra Law rather than Vita Tequila itself because she desired that John Barlow, okay, again, she ain't want her husband to know. In addition to the sum set forth, The plaintiffs made payments on an American Express card issued in Barlow's name, but residing and managed under Carlson's personal American Express account. In other words, the credit associated with Amex was Carlson's, not Barlow's. Ooh. Lisa, you couldn't get an American Express card in your name, girl. Plaintiffs intended these payments to cover travel and other expenses incurred by Barlow on Vida Tequila's behalf using the Amex card. Carlson caused the Amex card to be issued to Barlow via his personal American Express account so that he could more precisely track the expenses Barlow and Vida Tequila incurred. From about 2011 to 2017, plaintiffs paid a total of $119,585.99 on the Amex card for charges directly associated with payments to cover the debts of Vida Tequila and Barlow. Some of those charges were incurred by Barlow herself using the Amex card issued in her name, while the remainder were paid by plaintiffs using the Amex card as it resided under Carlson's own account. Plaintiff did so pursuant to the loan agreement as a loan in Vida Tequila and Barlow jointly and severally as follows: $17,000 in 2011, $18,000 in 2012. Child, and it goes up and up and up. I ain't about to read all that. Additionally, per Barlow's request and pursuant to the loan agreement on or about December 2015, Carlson paid a total of $32,320 as a payment on the balance owing on Barlow's personal Range Rover. Girl, you paid off her Range Rover? Y'all, I have a theory and y'all might not like it, but let's keep going. In total, beginning on about May 22, 2010, and continuing through February 1st of 2018, the plaintiffs loaned the defendants a total of $410,842.36. And then they break it down. Plaintiffs' last loan to defendants occurred on February 1st of 2018 when the plaintiffs paid the last bill on the Amex card. Barlow, on her own behalf and on behalf of each defendant, acknowledged in writing the debt that the total loan amount represents on multiple occasions. For example, on or about December the 9th of 2019, Carlson asked Barlow via text message whether upon Barlow's closing of a home equity line of credit against Barlow's home, the defendants could wire Carlson money for the loan. In response, Barlow did not dispute the debt, but rather simply replied with a palm face. With a palm face emoji and a one-word response: overwhelmed. Thereby acknowledging the debt. I don't know if that acknowledged the debt. I mean, I could see them saying, well, she didn't say, I don't owe you any money. Like, what you talking about? I don't owe you any money. But I don't know if that acknowledged the debt. A palm face emoji? Okay. All right. Additionally, on or about September... Oh, wait a minute. Hold on. Okay. On or about April the 8th of 2020, Carlson asked Barlow via text whether she could ever close her loan, specifically the aforementioned home equity line of credit, so defendants could pay Carlson back something. In response, Barlow did not dispute the debt, but rather responded, nope. They said for it to happen, she would have to pay off both of her cars, thereby again acknowledging the debt, but stating that neither she nor the defendants could repay it. Additionally, on or about September the 15th, Carlson left Barlow a voicemail message requesting payment of the total loan amount and followed up on that voicemail via text message. Again, Barlow acknowledged the debt by writing, let me see, I feel so overwhelmed. I hate going out now unless it's work. Let me look at what I have. Too many Zooms. Moreover, in earlier 2022, Carlson asked Barlow via text to engage with him in a discussion of the money loaned over the years, explaining that he was not in a position to carry that much money anymore and that things have hit differently. Again, Barlow acknowledged the debt by answering, we can absolutely do that, although she was not in the best position because Sundance had been canceled that year. After years of asking defendants to engage in a discussion regarding repayment of the total loan amount, the defendants, at the defendant's convenience, on March 8th of 2024, Plaintiffs formally demanded full repayment of the loan pursuant to the terms of the loan agreement. Despite that demand, none of the defendants have repaid any portion of the total loan amount to the plaintiffs. The total loan amount remains outstanding in full. And then it gets into the claims, child. We know the claims. I'm not going to get into all of that. So basically, this is the loan that I think Bronwyn was speaking mostly about when she was talking about the Amex card. She was talking about not wanting her husband to know. Okay, child. Remember, hold on, y'all. Y'all gotta remind me. What is it? How do I, child? How do I cut and paste again? What is it? Command V? Nope, that ain't it. Lord, I'm gonna learn, y'all. I'm gonna learn. What is it? Is it Control V? I'm trying to drop the link. There it is. I did it all by myself. Look at me. Okay, there's the link, y'all. So I'm gonna be honest and tell y'all, which some of y'all might be thinking what I'm thinking. I'm gonna just say the part out loud that we are all thinking. Y'all think Lisa was messing around with this man? Because those were some very lenient loan terms. I'm going to loan you all this money. I'm going to put an Amex card in your name. I'm going to pay $32,000 on your Range Rover. Baby, that was some very lenient. And then, well, I'm going to let you borrow it until I just ask for it back. Because what if he had never asked for it back? Lisa just would have walked away without the money. Because that was basic. I don't have Lisa's response, but that was part of her response was he waited too long to ask for it back. Not I didn't owe it. Not I didn't borrow it, but he waited too long to ask for the money back. Why are you getting renovations done to your house and child, for you to owe $32,000 on a Range Rover? I mean, were you just trying to pay it off? Because you couldn't have been behind that far. Because, I mean, I know rich people got different rules, but who is letting you get $30,000 behind on a car and they don't come and get it? What kind of car note you got? I mean, I know that, like I said, I understand that rich people got different, their bills hit different. I know. But, baby, how you get $32,000? Baby, that's more than my whole car costs. $32,000 behind? I mean, maybe not more than my car cost in the beginning, but that's more than I owe on my car. Let me say that. That's more than I owe on my car. How you $32,000 behind? Damn. Y'all, I'm going to be honest. I think that's Lisa man. I think that's the guy that Whitney was talking about when she said Lisa was out here performing favors. You know how, remember when Whitney said that Lisa was out here performing favors to get things? I think that might be him, honey. One thing I say about Whitney, I may not always like Whitney and how she chooses to bring stuff out, but I think Whitney be telling the truth. I think she might be adding 20 on 10. I think she be putting a little sauce on it, but I don't think Whitney be lying. Hold on, y'all. Sorry about that. To be fair, let me be fair. Y'all know I be exaggerating sometimes. To be fair, Whitney, the lawsuit didn't say she was behind $32,000. It said he gave her $32,000. So I'm sure that was probably to pay it off. I was exaggerating, but she probably was behind. She probably was behind, and she wanted to just get that monkey off her back. I don't know, but $32,000. I mean, again, that's a good ass friend to let you run up a $400,000 debt. And it does, I'm gonna be honest, it sounds like the only reason why he asked for it back is because his money got funny. You know how somebody will loan you money when they good and they don't really need it, and then something might happen and they money get funny, and they be like, remember that time I loaned you that $200? And it might have been like 3 years ago, and you'd be like, damn, okay. And I'm not saying, again, she agreed, according to the paperwork, she agreed to the loan that he could ask for it back. I think she never thought he was going to ask for it back. Because who agrees to that? Okay, I go to Quake, and I'm in such dire need right now that I'm in a desperate need to save my business, to save my finances. I'm in a lot of trouble. And I go to Quake and say, listen, Quake, I need your help. Like, this is, she clearly, her credit wasn't even good enough for her to get a credit American Express card in her name. And then in the text it said that she was supposed to be getting a line of credit, equity line of credit on her home, and they told her, no, you got to pay these other loans off first. So clearly your credit was in bad shape, or you were, your credit to debt ratio was so far out of whack. So clearly that was an issue, right? Number two, who agrees to, I'm in this bad of a situation, I'm in so much debt, I got to go to Quake and get her to even get a credit card for me so I can pay the people that's working on my house and pay my monthly bills. Like, you can see those little $1,000 charge, $2,000, $3,000. That's like bill stuff. Like, she was probably paying her electric bill and her phone bill and payroll and shit like that. I mean, none of those charges. There were only a couple of charges that were over $10,000. The majority of them were under $10,000. That's like regular day-to-day type shit for people running a business. I ain't talking about me and you, but people running a business. And for me to say to Quake, okay, girl, I'll go ahead and let you do this loan. I'll let you do this loan. And the only terms of the loan is that whenever Quake get ready, she can ask for the money back. Who agrees to that? Unless you never thought that person was going to ask for the money back. There's no way I would ever agree to an open-ended loan. Like, okay, well, I mean, it didn't even say, well, she agreed to pay. Hell, I've even heard people say, I'm going to pay you when I get my taxes. I'm going to pay you. Like, there was nothing. It just said, well, she agreed that she would just pay it back when it was asked. Who agrees to that? Unless you never thought that person was going to ask for the money back. And the only way you think that somebody that you owe $400,000 to ain't going to ask for their money back. I said the only way that you gonna think that somebody you owe $400,000 to ain't gonna ask for their money back. Y'all can finish that sentence, and y'all finish the sentence. I ain't gonna finish it. Y'all finish that sentence. Who ain't asking for their money back? And she wasn't too far off, because it sounds like the only reason why he asked for the money back is because he needed the money. Not because he was like, oh, okay, girl, like, you said you was going to pay me back. You ain't pay me back. Because if the last loan was in 2018 and this lawsuit wasn't filed until 2014, baby, that was 5 years, 6 years, give or take the months. Girl, you wasn't thinking about that money until you needed the money. I'm going to be honest, and this is my opinion, and I don't know these people, so let's be clear. This is just my opinion. I think that Lisa might have been thotting and bopping with this man back in 2010, 2011, 2012. And I think that they probably stopped thotting and bopping, but they were still cool. Like, it wasn't no bad. They just kind of parted ways kind of thing. So that man wasn't really looking for his money until he needed his money. But I definitely feel like they was starting and bopping. Now, I don't know that to be a fact. I don't know these people. But that's my opinion. I think they was starting and bopping. I do. And I think that's another reason why she didn't want John to know about it. Because if I'm John, in my mind, I'm thinking, why is this man just giving you a credit card and First of all, she didn't want John to know that they was that far behind on their bills, which tells me that Lisa was probably doing some shit she wasn't supposed to be doing. Because why you don't want your business partner to know y'all in trouble? If it's legitimate reasons why y'all are in trouble. If y'all are legitimately, but remember, one of those lawsuits, oh, y'all may not know this, but in my research, one of those lawsuits, it was John. John had got a loan and he didn't want Lisa to know. Which tells me that y'all marriage is not in a good space as far as the business side of it. Because John out here getting loans that he don't want Lisa to know about, and Lisa out here getting loans that she don't want John to know about, and both of it's for the business. Interesting. And allegedly in that lawsuit, John got the loan, allegedly. This is one of the ones that was dismissed. John got the loan because he said they needed to pay for the raw materials to make Vita tequila, but the person in the lawsuit was alleging that John didn't use the money to buy the raw materials, that John actually used the money for personal reasons, and that they never needed the money for the raw materials. See, it's a lot of stuff. It's some real shaky stuff going on. And again, I know that every lawsuit doesn't mean it's true. And again, that was one of the lawsuits that got dismissed. We don't know why it was dismissed. We don't know if it was dismissed because they settled. We don't know if it was dismissed. I think that's the one that the judge threw out without prejudice that he could refile. But neither here nor no, I don't remember, child. It was so many of them. But this was whatever it was dismissed. I can't remember if it was just dismissed outright or if it was dismissed without prejudice. But either way, it was dismissed. But the reality of the situation is y'all marriage is not in a good space. If you getting loans that you don't want her to know about, and he getting loans, or she getting loans that she don't want you to know about, baby, something's a problem. Something wrong. Tracy Whitehead said, you made me fall out of the bushes. I was thinking the same thing. Child. I'm just saying. That's just my opinion. All right, y'all. I dropped the link. I'll drop the link one more time. And if not, I'm going to get out of here. I'll drop the link one more time. Because like I said, I got to run a couple of errands. And then when I get back, I may do the members only when I get back. Because I do have... I have a few things to say. So I may still do the members only today. Because other than Nicki Minaj still having her meltdown.
And with the face to it is what's throwing.
Oh, Lord. Oh, shoot. Oh, Lord. Oh, shoot. Oh, Lord. Sorry, y'all. I opened up my phone and I was listening to a voice note and it just started playing. But other than Nicki Minaj still having her meltdown and JT and Saucy Santana going back and forth, ain't really too much going on, child. And for those on my TikTok, y'all go over to my TikTok shop and buy something. Go on over there. Please. I say his wife made him get their money back. Ooh, maybe. Quake, maybe. Is that how they're maintaining their fabulous lifestyle? Sounds like it. Sounds like it, honey. All right, y'all. I'm gonna get out of here. Like I said, I'll do a members only when I get back. Like I said, it shouldn't take me. I don't know when I'm gonna be back, but I hope it doesn't take me too long to do what I gotta do. But that's about it, child. I don't see too much else going on online other than Nicki Minaj. Let me say this, and I'm gonna be done. The one thing that when I woke up this morning, I saw that Nicki Minaj was still going off. The one thing that Cardi B said that is absolutely true is you don't have nobody around you. You don't have a team. Your husband don't give a damn about you. You don't have no friends. Let me explain something to y'all. And I mean this with all the sincerity in my heart. Y'all ain't got to believe me, but I'm telling you the truth. I'm telling you who I am as a person. I am telling you who I am as a person. If that had been, I'm going to just take El Teddy out of, I'm going to just throw El Teddy out there. Let's just say for whatever reason, El Teddy just started going on YouTube and making these crazy videos, one right after the other, right after the other, right after the other. Baby, the way I would be on the phone, calling everybody who I ever thought I had a phone number for that could get their hands on El Teddy in Atlanta, that could go knock on his door and be like, get your ass off this damn computer. Baby, the way that if that were Ebony going online, baby, I can get in touch with Ebony people. Now, El Teddy people are in Florida. He got some people in Atlanta, but the way I would even get Scotty, be like, Scotty, this is El Teddy address. Can you go over there? Because something is clearly wrong with him. And if I couldn't get nobody, the way I would be in my car or on a plane, that's just who I am. And El Teddy is not even a celebrity on the level of like a Nicki Minaj. Girl, how you don't have a team around you that's taking your phone? You have a whole husband that is letting you crash out. This been going on for 3 days, y'all. 3 days. Maybe longer. There's no reason in the world why ain't nobody knocked that woman's door down and took her fucking phone. Because now she ain't even talking about Cardi no more. She talking about Gayle King, Jay-Z. She talking about the Breakfast Club. She talking about the Democrats. Like, baby, that's the one thing that I know Cardi B said that's true. You don't have nobody around you. Not a person. Not a one. Because ain't nowhere in the world that you still supposed to be going off 3 days later. But anyway, let me get out of here. I'll talk to y'all later. Peace.